We're going to bring in Danielle DeMarco. She's our real estate investment mortgage broker. She's a little under the weather today, so she'll probably be a bit quicker, and her voice might be a little hoarse. But she's got some really interesting things to tell us about mortgage plus improvements and how you can use the bank's money to do your basement reno to get that secondary suite put in. So if you're around, Danielle,
I am, thank you.
there she
And yes,
is.
I apologize in advance if I sound a little hoarse. I'm under the weather and just recovering here. In light of today's topics, which is secondary suites, we kind of wanted to touch base on some programs for secondary suites. The first one we wanted to touch on is the CSSLP, which is the Canada Secondary Suite Loan Program. It's designed to help homeowners create additional living spaces within your already existing property. It allows homeowners, it was a $40,000 loan. It actually has been bumped up to about $80,000 to build or renovate secondary suites. You can access this through government grants. So it's actually something that's not done through your mortgage broker, but it's actually done through direct application to the government. Maximum loan is 80,000. Interest rate is supposed to be around 2% fixed over the loan term, and then the repayment period is up to 15 years. So you can pay it out at any time as well if you come into some funds or you want to pay it off early. Now, this program, though, is under construction. Let's just call it that. So it's not something that you can access quite as of yet, but you can go to the government websites, learn about it, and monitor and watch for that to come. The second program is the 90% refinance program. So this was a hot topic kind of in December and into January of this year. So the government did officially release this program, but it's just being adopted slowly by lenders because it does require a lot of restructuring on the lender's side. It's in the form of a draw, and most lenders don't do draw mortgages, so they're having to kind of revamp their systems in order to accommodate this program. So this program is for already homeowners who own their home as well. And you can actually refinance up to 90% of your home's value. So typically in Canada, when you refinance, the maximum loan amount you can do is 80% of your home's value. In this case, if you can prove that you're using the funds to build a secondary suite, in fact, up to 4 units over and above your owner occupied suite, then they will allow you to refinance up to 90% of the as finished, as complete value. So if you, let's say, own a single family home and you're have room to build like a carriage house with a garage, you could do the basement suite, you could do the above garage carriage suite, and then this program would be designed for that, where we can borrow up to 90% of the as complete value. Similar though, it's like I said, under construction, not quite available yet, but it is coming, so watch for it. The loan has to be less than 2 million on the as improved value. So that's a really nice dollar amount to be able to take a single family home and add two, three, four suites to that property. So it will be a fabulous program once it's fully adopted by the lenders. So again, stay tuned and watch for that. Right now, we're refinancing properties up to 80% to take out funds. You can do improvements and build those suites, but this will give us that extra 10% of equity, which can really, really help when it comes down to the dollars and cents of putting in these legal suites. And then the last program I want to talk about is our standard purchase plus improvements. So this program applies to people who are purchasing a home instead of the last two programs, which are for homeowners who already own the home. So this is where, let's say you're purchasing a property and it's got an illegal suite in the basement. You would like to turn that suite into a legal suite. Or, for example, it's not even suited at all and you would like to suite the property. It's great for flips if you need renovation money to do some cosmetic and different renovations. So what you do is we would take the purchase price of the property and we would get a quote for the work that you want to do to, let's say, add that secondary suite. Let's say the cost comes in at 50,000 to do that. If your purchase price is 400,000, we add 50,000 to that and we send it into the lender as a combined package of 450,000. You can do as little as down payment as 5%, depending on whether you're occupying the property or not. So that 450,000 is what you base your down payment on. So instead of having to come up with $50,000 cash to reno that suite, you're coming up with 22,500 total down payment on that full property, including the suite. So it's a huge, huge, massive savings. So you're not coming up with all this cash out of pocket. You get the quote up front. You're responsible for doing the work once you get possession of the home. You can use lines of credit, credit cards, savings, gift from family, however you want in order to do those renovations. And then once those renos are complete, we will send an appraiser out. They just check off the boxes to say the work is done. And then you get the money back in your pocket based on the quoted amount. So it's a really great program to add those secondary suites without having to use your own cash and pay for it yourself. So these are three different ways we can look at financing secondary suites. The first two that we talked about are kind of released but under construction. So stay tuned on those. We'll talk more about them once they're fully launched and available. And then the Purchase Plus Improvements is readily available. Most lenders offer that program. So that's yeah. Oh, I've got some questions here. Is that applicable to brand new homes? So the Purchase Plus Improvements is yes. So if you want to develop the basement, you could get a quote and we would get your closing statement from your builder, for example, which outlines your final price. And then we would add the quote onto that. And then that basement gets finished after possession. So you get
Nice.
the keys. And then we have about 90 to
There you go.
120 days-ish to complete those renos. So, yep, it is applicable to new home purchases as well.
All right. Thanks, Danielle.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Way to muscle through that cold you got there.
I'm sorry I talked really fast, but I need to stop talking now.
No, you did great.